But for the journey back, since you are trying to hustle as best as you can, that would be a body and endurance roll.
Oh boy, back to singular dice for me. Let's see if I get lucky a third time in a row. Ah,
Not at all.
Welcome to the party, pal. Of everybody that fails.
has this walking stuff been exhausting the whole time?
And Tor? Okay, so at least one of you is, yeah, it's very slow going. The rain is not helping, and
Fuck you, rain.
yeah, everybody kind of goes until they can't, and stops in the middle of the road in the dark. But you've probably gotten back to where the fight was yesterday, and yeah, it's still yeah. Bad memories and whatnot. Zhulong, make a mind and observation roll.
2 successes.
2 successes, okay. So while you're everybody's sort of collapsing for the night, you kind of get a nagging suspicion that you're being watched, and you sort of turn around and scan the horizon a little bit, and it persists enough where you look back once and then you spot the familiar-looking leopard woman. And she's watching you again, but when she notices that you spot her, she makes a gesture to come here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a quick glance around and make sure I'm not being watched, well, by anyone other than her.
With 2 successes, when you stop to kind of see if there's anybody else there, you do see movement out at the edge of the road.
Oh,
and
no,
once
no,
or twice.
I meant from my own group. That no one's watching me.
Oh, nobody's watching? Well, let me ask the group. How attentive at this point would you be?
Oh, what a lovely little clod of dirt I found to rest my head upon. It's a good thing my eyes are closed while it's raining.
Yes. So I think that Tamra, you wouldn't be able to see it, but Sheng Lu Po and Lu Wei, you can make a an observation roll to see if you notice Zhulong kind of going off.
Well, no, I'm looking around to see if anyone's watching me before I go walking off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, both Sheng Lu Po and Lu Wei are kind of noticing you.
I'm gonna look back at them and say, hey, gonna go take a piss. Be right back.
Okay. Well, at least they know that you went off to take a piss if you just randomly disappear.
Yeah. And then I'll wander off that way.
Okay. So as you get closer and kind of again to maybe 5 feet away, you do see that she has friends with her. And she looks at you and says, well, I wonder if we could be friends.
I mean, we seem pretty friendly already.
True. But I wonder if maybe you're curious about what happened to the people from yesterday.
You mean the people that got away?
She kind of... No, those that were taken as slaves.
Ah. Sure, I'm a curious person.
She kind of pauses for a second and says, I can tell you where they're being sold, or where they will where they will be.
Why would you do that?
I have my reasons.
I'll bite. Where are they being sold?
They're being taken to Rolziyang. Definitely not on the main roads. It's probably going to take them, well, maybe about a week to get there from the direction they're going, but they're being taken to Rolziyang to be sold. I don't know the specifics, but I had to look into this myself, and I know that Jan is up to something. But she gives like a dock number, and let's say dock number 4.
I see.
As far as I know.
I have to ask. What is your goal in this?
She smiles and says, "Now that would be giving away too much, wouldn't it? By the way, I think you have something that belongs to me. Or one of you does."
That really depends what we're talking about.
Mad Peng had certain appetites, but the delivery that he was supposed to pick up never arrived.
Oh, the drugs. I almost completely forgot about the drugs, if I'm being honest with you. I don't touch this stuff, so...
Pity.
It leads to a very nasty habit. Have you seen some of those people?
Yes.
I enjoy
I know what
my
Mad
teeth.
Peng is like.
So you want
But
the drugs back is what I'm getting at here.
Well, let's just say it's my property, or it was to be my property.
I mean, really, ownership is property. But I get what you're getting at.
I was just curious if you had them. We will get them back one way or the other.
Oh, of course. Someone with the resources you have? Undoubtedly.
Is there anything else you wish to ask her? Otherwise, she's going to say no, bugger off and leave me alone.
Oh, well, she's gonna be rude to me now all of a sudden? She's playing this very weird.
Or we'll just say, then you should go. If you have no other questions, that's all I'm willing to provide you for today.
Is there any particular reason you're always hanging out right here?
I don't just stay in one place.
I was
I have
gone
many
for a
eyes.
day and I came back and you were literally in the same place.
Maybe, maybe not.
He's got the comfiest stump this side of the river. Where else is she gonna sit?
I'm gonna squint at her and I'm gonna raise 2 fingers and put them at my eyes and then I'm gonna point it back at her eyes and I'm gonna turn around and start walking away.
She doesn't shoot you in the back, so
Oh, good. She's smart. Alright, I'm gonna walk back over to Shang Lu Po and Lu Wei and say, my father hired a mentalist. Did I tell you that?
Hmm?
A mentalist. You know what those are, right?
No.
They read
It
your
was an
thoughts.
overrated TV show.
What is this TV?
Nothing. Also, we're not here.
Here you are. I walked back to you. Unless you went somewhere else, like literally. Like, I went off to pee, and you guys were like, fuck it, we're leaving camp.
It's in flowers.
In the rain at night.
Right.
Anyway.
No, you guys were watching me before when I left. That's why I said I was going to go take a piss. Then I came back to talk to you. Yeah, my father, he hired a mentalist. Sometime before I left, I guess. That was why he was really upset when I came back. Had them look me over. Saw what I was really up to. And with a seeming long pause, I was just gonna keep on going. Just got a message from him. The mentalist, I mean, not my father.
Okay, continue on.
Amazing conversationalist you are, by the way. I want to think
It
right
seems
now
more like
that I'm
you're
talking to you
trying
guys,
to-
and you guys are like asleep.
Tamara is literally asleep.
Yeah, Tamara's asleep.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, I'm talking to your backs, like, you're facing away from me laying on the ground, and you're, like, literally asleep, and I just don't recognize it.
Or we're awake and we're both looking, giving each other a look of like, don't say anything, or we'll keep going.
Well, unfortunately, I've got to keep going without any input.
I keep looking at Tor like, why does he keep pausing like that? Where's he going with this?
Apparently, there's been word of a slave trafficking ring here on the island. He thought maybe I could redeem myself by looking into it. And my first thought was that it kind of sounds like what's going on here already.
It does.
So I thought maybe I'd tell you what I just heard, and maybe we could look into it on our way back.
Huh?
I mean, that was really kind of a end sentence, so I don't know why the raised inflection was there.
Well, you heard that there's a slave trade on the island, which we already knew.
Right, no, but I'm saying I've got details as to where.
That was what the was for.
Right. I'm sorry, sometimes talking to you seems to be a bit more harder than it should be. I don't know what you're aiming for now.
Well, it seemed like you were trying to tell us something. Then you've told us nothing so far.
I've told you that my
Father
father
has
is
a mentalist.
sending me messages through a
Kind of coming
mentalist.
off a little nutty right now.
It's a
you are
world
kind
of
seeming
magic.
A bit, I know, but you know, get to the point.
Well, that was the point. I got to the point. Hey, I've got this information. Maybe we should check it out. And you're like, uh-huh. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now.
Well, the was like, well, what's the information?
Well, then at that point, I will retell the information to you, but replace all instances of, hey, there's a bandit in those woods over there, to my mentalist father told me, or the mentalist my father hired told me.
So you say essentially there's you suspect that at Dock 4 in the main city there, in this very specific location, there's probably some kind of slaver ring there. In Rolziang. And that maybe in about a week or so, there might be a sale going on.
What is the views of slavery in that?
In Zhonghua?
And specifically that city.
Well, in Rolziang, it's a trade city that's, it's, as I mentioned in the beginning, essentially the ruling class's main his first-hand man, I guess, Minister Kong, is it's widely believed that he's in some sort of he's a slaving organizer. Slavery is not as common. Usually, it really happens only if you're taken in war or if you're a criminal and put into slavery and that sort of thing. But it does, slaves are a thing. There's the legal ones and then there's the illegal ones. So
Basically, slavery tends to happen to foreigners, not to locals.
correct. Not that our stripy friend here might know something about slavery.
Say nothing.
Yeah, you're awfully quiet about the breaking up the slave trade, Mr. Slavery.
You don't know that.
That's out of character comment.
I am very loud. Have you seen my stripes? I'm very loud.
Well, that's great.
Split my pumpkin, Daddy.
So, Tor,
Yes.
let's see. What skills of a streetwise nature might you have that you could potentially roll to see if you might know something about that particular location?
Well, I have mind and streetwise. Let me see what else.
If you have the local area knowledge gift of Rolls Yang,
Yep, I do.
you could certainly add that to it. So,
All right, here you go.
with so with the bizarre statements coming from your dragon friend, he's talking about maybe Dock 4, and there's probably a slaving guild there. With 2 successes, you kind of think, yeah, actually, come to think of it, there was somebody there. You may or may not have been associated with them potentially in the past, but certainly you do recall there being something like that. But if you decide to keep this information to yourself, that's up to you.
I will, for now, keep this to myself.
We're a party of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to think that maybe now Tor's character thinks maybe he is getting information from a mentalist.
It certainly seems plausible now. You don't just seem as crazy in Tor's mind, I would imagine. But apart from that, if you decide to do watches for the evening, you may, of course, roll your mind and observation to see if anything happens.
Another 2.
How about you, Sheng Lupo and Lue?
1 success. Successes.
Okay. So, Sheng Lupo, you do your normal run, your normal shift, and nothing really happens. It's still rainy and wet. You're kind of on edge because of the circumstances, but nothing happens. Zhulong, you also are in a similar situation. Once or twice you kind of look over and you think you see movement out of your eyes, but again, nothing. You're not ambushed or anything. Lue, while you are doing your shift, you're pretty on edge, and you swear once or twice you see that there are people watching you, but they are not doing anything. And even once you thought you saw a female leopard.
Was she cute?
Yes, she was.
Yay! At least I saw something cute. That's not good though. Okay, so it becomes morning.
Um, Morning comes around, and everybody should do another endurance roll, body and endurance roll.
I also, however, inform everyone of us being watched.
Okay.
That's
And I
weird.
tell them also the cute leopard's mine.
I didn't see anything. Did you see anything, Shang Lupo?
I have 8 eyes and I
Nope.
haven't seen anything. Clearly, it's just your imagination.
Yeah.
That was the wrong die.
Maybe the rain is just causing something.
Okay, well, with there were no critical failures, so you managed to. Yeah, Sheng Lupo is a little bit fatigued and is panting pretty badly, but is keeping up. And let's just
I got
roll
a
a d12.
success.
Oh, you rolled a success. I just saw the one there. Okay, so everybody got a success. Oh, perfect.
By the way, what's the short version of your name? Like, that was a shout.
Shang.
Shang? Okay. I didn't know if I could just call you Poe.
Oh no. So, all of you make very good time, and as you get into town, the skies just open up and just start really thunderstorming hard. You all kind of stumble into town with the people that you're with, and it just gets really, really crappy.
Alright, rather than, handle everything in the pouring rain, Tamra will invite all the refugees to her home to spend the night until the rain finally stops, and then handle things from there.
Okay. You're very happy to be home. The people that you're with are also very happy to be under one roof and somewhere that's warm. And yeah, it's very, very rainy. And at this rate, it might, if it continues to rain like this, the road that you went on might wash out the next day or two. But
Oof. Yeah. But we're back in town, so Tamara might listen to see if the guards have anything to say since she's been gone, and of course inform them of the very possible danger up ahead for them.
well, your captain of the guard will certainly note it and get the other 8 kind of full-time guards that you have and say, okay, well, you know, we'll keep an eye out on things and we'll make sure that the militia is trained tomorrow.
Yeah, running a few drills would be a very good idea.
Definitely. So, but yes, everybody is back.
But of course, barring any other information, I suppose we're just holding up in the village then, aren't we?
Yeah,
So,
hope the bridge doesn't
what-
wash out.
if it goes for another day, I'll definitely do a roll to see how high the water goes, but the bridge is fairly sturdy. As for the rest of you, I know that Zhulong, you have an injury. Is there anything that you want to do to see if you can improve that?
Is the heavy rain is obscuring, right?
Yes.
Is it dark outside?
Yes, it's well, you got in probably around 6 o'clock, but it looks like it's 10.
Okay. I'm gonna make like I'm heading out to see the doctor, or a doctor, someone good with medicine, right? But I'm gonna go on I'm not going there, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the cover of night and the horrible, horrible rain and hope I don't get, what was his name from Jurassic Park? Because I'm gonna go out to where the drugs were buried, and I want to try to dig them up.
I thought the group already dug them up.
Well, shit.
We already dug them up, we had them in our possession, and I believe Tamara gave them to Shenglupo so that she might never see them again.
I like to think
Yes.
so.
Now
I'm
depends
not.
on what Sheng has done since then.
I'm not taking
Yes.
it back though. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to where I think that they're buried. I'm gonna spend all this time digging them up and figuring out that I'm a fucking idiot.
Alright, have fun.
Well, the problem is that when you're doing behind the back clandestine operation, you can't turn to anybody and realize that you've made a mistake.
Well, okay. Let me just drag your token over to Motherly Ling's house.
Right. Where I put the hole to represent that it was already dug up. I put the hole there!
Yep.
And now it represents the hole in your heart.
And memory.
Head like a hole.
There's only one snow leopard who can fill it.
Oh.
I mean, to be
But,
fair, that is what
yes.
happened in the other game, too.
You go over to her house and see that, yeah, the garden was dug up, and now there's kind of like a deep puddle there. What about the rest of you guys?
Supposing that Sheng and Liu stay over at Tamra's, would they at all offer any of the information they know now about the slave trade? Or is she going to be the one in the dark about all this?
I mean, I'll tell her that our friend Julong had some information, but he's also very strange.
I see. But supposing it's right, it does make the most sense. Undoubtedly, their corruption extends well into their city. But if we perhaps cause a little trouble and nobody knows it was our fault, maybe we can rescue a few people. But that would mean leaving the village again.
That's
Of
true.
course, I worry about it.
But yes, our slinky friend here explains that, yes, Zhulong mentioned something about some dock or something like that, and Roljiang about where people are sold, and he thinks that they might be there, potentially.
Yeah.
Something about a mentalist telling him this in his head.
How far away is Roljiang anyway?
Well, it's downriver. You could theoretically take if you had somebody who could take you by boat, you could probably get there within a day. If you walk, it'll probably be several days.
Don't suppose we do have a boat, do we?
You don't, but somebody in the village more than likely does.
Okay.
Who might even be willing to ferry you down.
Hey, there we go. So we can try that once the rain lets up. Speaking of, I suppose the only other thing Tamarjin has in mind other than keeping company would be to maybe wait until Julong gets back from, looking for his doctor or anything. And, of course, ask Julong to, predict the weather for tomorrow and maybe see if we need to actually shore up the river beforehand or anything.
Well, Zhulong, you spend several hours out there until you realize, wait a minute, it's not here. Before you trudge sodden and soaked to the bone back.
What are the chances that I could find Fang?
Fang Jin, the former gang member?
Yeah. I mean, I recognize he's literally not right there in front of me, but is he findable in town?
Well, he's working with Motherly Ling, that you know, and she's not letting him in her house for obvious reasons. So he is actually sleeping underneath that cart there. He's turned it upside down.
Right. Okay. I guess I'll take a seat on the ground next to it and just shake him awake.
Well, it's more like you can he hears you outside in the garden and like peeks up from under the cart. And says, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Making a grave misjudgment. Why are you under the cart?
He looks at you and says, "Because I have nowhere else to go. I don't have a hut yet."
Yeah, a number of these buildings are abandoned right now. No one would even know you were in them.
That doesn't mean I have permission.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, well, I'm on thin ice, I think, as it is. I'm not risking it.
I don't think anybody would blame you for trying to get out of this storm. You could fall asleep and drown out here.
Is there something you wanted?
Yeah. You see, if we don't get those drugs back, something bad's gonna happen.
He kind of nods somberly and says, "Well, I don't have them."
No, I know. I'm not saying you have anything to do with it. I'm just... If you can keep an eye out, see if you spot them anywhere.
Well, definitely. I'll keep an eye out. I'll watch over Motherly Ling and her family. Don't you worry about that.
Wasn't. Maybe now, wasn't before. He's the one that they marked across the forehead, right?
I think that was the mercenary.
Right, we marked the mercenary. This one just needs to spend the season helping the family.
Ah, okay. So he's like less off than I thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
You see or hear anything, though, you come right to me.
Definitely. Where, by the way, are you living?
I'm here and there. One of these buildings.
Okay.
I'll be in one of these buildings. I guess you'll just have to open one up and check. If not,
You just move around every night.
and if I'm not in one, maybe you just stay in the one that I'm not in.
Kind of nods and says, "Yeah, well, you know where to find me."
I'm gonna sigh, and I'm gonna go knock on Motherling's door.
Okay. You knock on the door a couple times, and you hear movement inside. And she opens it up and says, "What? What do you want?"
Who's staying next door?
Oh, those are uh, you're like this family. Oh, and her wife is, or his wife is drinks way too much rice wine, if you ask me.
Ah, and they're still here? They didn't leave?
Well, he left, of course, to help out, but she, of course, is doing it on her own, and I say she's drinking up all of his savings, the poor man.
Yeah, it's a real shame. What about right here next to the tree? Who's living in that place? Or is that just a
Oh.
storage shed?
That's an old hermit's shed. He was a retired scholar, but now he's something, I guess you could say, of a little school teacher. When the season's over, he will take food and teach the children how to, their basic history about the wonderful emperor and whatnot. And he's getting up there in years, and she just kind of runs her mouth.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Sorry to bother you. Tell the children I said hi, and I leave.
Okay.
And I'm gonna head to that one. The, boom. And I'll bang on his door.
He opened it. Yeah, after a moment, he opens the door and it's a wizened old horse, and he looks at you and says, "Can I help you, young man?"
Yes, I'm sorry to bother you this late in the evening on such a terrible night such as this, but I have a poor unfortunate soul out here, destitute and stuck in this unfathomable weather. But he's got a strong back and a good pair of hands, and I think he might be able to help you in your time of need if you will help him in his.
He kind of looks at you incredulously and says, "Yes, yes, yes, I know all about that. Times are tough and whatnot. But, I never decided to be a gang member."
No, but would you decide to let a man drown in his sleep?
He won't drown.
He could catch his death of cold.
Well, I consider it karma if he does. Now, good night. Shuts the door on you.
You, sir, are a jackass. Alright, fine. And I'm gonna go knock on the Floozy's house.
uh, she answers it, and she's got a little bottle in her hand. Oh, well, hello.
No, wait a second. Take a look over there. You see that man crouched underneath that cart?
She says, "Oh, yes, Fang Jin, I believe his name is."
Isn't danger so attractive?
What's that?
I said nothing. I said look at him. Look how he's cowered under that cart, cold and in the rain. He could really use a place to warm up.
Yes, as I offered that he could stay here, but he insisted not. I think he's just a shy young man.
Fang, get over here.
He looks at you and makes like the no, 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 no.
Get over here, goddamn. Emperor be damn it, whatever the curse of the time is.
He reluctantly gets out from underneath the cart and says, "What do you want?"
You are going to associate in this town before your time is up, and you are going to get out of this rain and out from under that cart like a dray? I don't know what the the twist of language would be here.
Like some sort of horrible beast of burden.
Right. I would call you a dog, but that would be very insulting to a whole group.
Yes, but this woman's married. I couldn't possibly stay under her roof. And no, he's like, she's making eyes at him, and he's like, no, I don't want to go there.
Look, I'm not asking you to put feet to Sulamar. Just stay in the house and be warm for an evening so you don't die of sickness.
Are you insisting that he go in?
At this point, yes. I put too much
Okay.
effort in.
He will reluctantly go inside, and she says, "Oh, don't worry, I'll take good care of him."
And at this point, I will then head back to the group.
Okay. So, is there anything else that you'd want to do in the evening? Otherwise, I will progress it to the next morning.
Probably just ask you long. Like, what do you think will happen with the weather here? Should we prepare ahead of time?
I've spent all this time out there. I assume I would have at least weather sensed once.
Yeah, you can make a roll.
One success. However, in perfect order.
Okay. Well, you're pretty sure that the rain is not going to continue tomorrow, that the worst of it is probably crested and it's starting to not get as rainy.
Well, you see, my fine mare, I could feel the pressure differential in my inner ear, and that tells me that the storm is moving on to the north, shall we say.
Yes,
So
that's
I
a
think.
statement.
So we've weathered the worst of it then.
Yes.
Good, good. I was worried we'd have to contend with flooding tomorrow. But I hear you talked with a mentalist.
Well, more that a mentalist talked to me. I have no real ability to talk back. I was not trained in such things.
I heard a little bit of the information, but how certain of it are you?
Well, it comes
Messages
from my
you received.
father, so I'm gonna say 80%.
Then perhaps we should be taking a trip to Rule Zeong soon.
That was the message I was given.
Alright, onward to tomorrow then.
Yes, Zeon.
Okay. And Sheng Lu Po and Lu Wei, where are you staying? Are you staying also at the mayor's estate?
I have a house in town.
Okay. Where is your house? And what did you do with the drugs specifically, the package? Did you leave it in your house? Did you take it with you?
I have them hidden, but I have them hidden on my person. But I wouldn't tell any of the party that, so only I know that.
Okay.
I just tell them that it's hidden for now.
Okay. Feel free to choose a house wherever in the on the map that you'd like to claim as yours. As for you, Lu Wei, are you also?
Well, I would more, look at the Slinky Boy and be like, can I stay with you for a few nights until I have my own place?
Can you fit in my house?
I can make it fit, I say as I pull out a hammer and nails.
I mean, you'd probably fit better in the stables.
Yeah, I do think I'm sleeping in stables. Still dry.
Yeah, where would the more
You are a
ranch
farmer.
farmhouses be? Because I'm a farmer, but I'm also a carnivore, so I imagine
Seems
I
like the
raise-
south, actually. Like, right across from the mayor's house, honestly.
Yeah, I think there's a little stables there, and maybe the house to the right or the left would be a good spot.
Yeah, like oh yeah, I have to hold like this one.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, I'm a little house right there.
Okay.
Very modest.
Yeah, and there's 2 beds there, so it's perfect.
Yeah, if you want to try it, squeeze in, but just don't squish anything. You squish it, you buy it.
Okay, so if you want to, yes, since you're sleeping in your own beds, you can take a healing quota. If you have you can home cook a meal for yourself and also get a second one. But
I suppose another reason to go to Rol Zeong might be to actually go and get a doctor for the village.
definitely, you probably have like a wise woman or just like an old person who knows a few things, but a actual physician, definitely not. So while you're in the city, very much you could probably do a search to find somebody like that who'd be willing to move out there.
Yeah, that and/or mercenaries for sure.
Yeah, the old
Absolutely.
frontier town method. Gotta go into
Exactly.
town and stop by the tavern and see if anyone's looking to move. Incentivize them to join our township.
Well, there is a tea house there, and for the sake of levity, there are a pair of twins skunks that own and operate it, and they have a slave sparrow that is also there.
Twins,
But,
Basil, twins.
Well, they are both female, so yes.
Fuck of me and fuck of you.
Not quite, but yeah, they're locals. Beyond that, though, the next morning rolls around, and Sheng Lu Po and Lu Wei, you are awakened to a small, like, elderly voice yelling, "Be gone, evil spirits, be gone!" And then as soon as he says that, you hear a dunk dunk, like somebody with a drum. And just outside, and he sounds like it's getting closer, louder. "Be gone, evil spirits, be gone!" Dunk dunk. continuing forward.
This is just at their door, right? Not like marching up and down the street or anything.
Well, I'm going to have a look and see if they're marching up and down the street, or if they're marching around the house, or something, or what.
He is actually, well, you go outside, you see a porcupine and a snake with a drum. And he's actually kind of going up and down the streets and inside and out the houses, saying, be gone, evil spirits, be gone. And then whenever
I'm
he's...
actually quite impressed when if a snake is able to hold a drum and bang it and walk at the same time.
Well, there's two people there. There's...
Yeah, but I'm still imagining a snake holding onto a drum and hitting it while slithering across the floor.
Well, the porcupine is the one speaking, but the snake is the one following him with the drum.
Well, if they're just banging drums and screaming, for evil spirits to leave, I have no qualms with this. Don't know about Storm, but he just came back.
Hello. Sorry, what did I miss?
Well, outside of your house, there is a porcupine, an old, wizened porcupine who's yelling, "Be gone, evil spirits, be gone!" And there's a snake following him with the drum. And the drum, whenever he says that, he just bangs on the drum twice. So it's, "Be gone, evil spirits, be gone!" Dunk, dunk. And,
As a local, do I know either of these people?
As a local, no. And as soon as they kind of see you poke your heads out, the porcupine goes up to you and says, good sir, there are evil spirits about, and it is the season of the cleansing, and there are evil spirits out there that must be banished, of course. Be gone, evil spirits, be gone! Dunk, dunk. Might I interest you in some sage, perhaps, to cleanse your house of the evil wickedness that might be in there?
What time of day is it?
Early.
Too early.
Yes.
I'm gonna just close the door.
Slowly close the door.
And go back to bed. If he
then
wants to persist, I'll let the tiger answer.
Yeah. What does the tiger do?
No, like I said, I'll just let them. I'll let them just do their own thing. I'm not going to request any of it.
Okay. Well, if you ignore him, he will go up and down the street saying, "Be gone, evil spirits, be gone, dunk, dunk," until he finally gets to the mayor's house, and he approaches the door and knocks on it, and waits for an answer.
Presumably the two guards that seem to be stationed there at all times are like, "Oh, who is this? What are you doing here?"
Yes, you hear some commotion.
We shall bring the message to the mistress.
He says, "Yes, 'tis the season to be cleansing of evil spirits and the wicked webs that they spin. There is evil afoot, and you must cleanse yourself of this spiritual taint. And so I have sage and other spices to sell that will protect you from these wicked things. So be gone, evil spirits, be gone." Dunk, dunk.
As the mayor, I definitely haven't seen this traveler around before, have I?
No, you haven't.
But I'm definitely a little bit amused. I'll be polite. I'll offer like, "Oh, would you like to come in for a little bit of tea after you cleanse? Please, I'm sure you must have so much to say from so much time on the road."
Upon seeing you as a spider, Tamra, he says, I would have thought that surely one of the 5 wicked species of
Vermin of the
the
state,
5
totally.
ruinous species would not be such a person of high import. Clearly this town is infested with such evil, wicked spirits, and I say to you, be gone, evil spirit, be gone! Dunk, dunk.
Tamara will, of course, sort of like start to grin a little bit, in that way of like, yeah, I'd probably be laughing out loud if I wasn't trying to keep composure. Like, oh yes, I am truly befallen by terrible evil. And she just sort of swoons and jokes a little bit by it.
And he says,
But
it's
please
no...
afford yourself a little hospitality while you're here. At least some good might come of it.
I wouldn't think of entering such a twisted web spinner such as yourself. There are evil, wicked spirits, and I see clearly you must be one of the ones pulling their evil silken threads of misfortune in this town. Clearly I have my work cut out for them, and I say again, I say to you, be gone, evil spirit, be gone! Dunk, dunk. And he pulls out some like incense and starts dancing around with it lit and trying to say something, I guess, and appealing to some spirits or some sort.
Nonetheless, she'll take like a single boo and hand it over. It's like, for a little bit of that incense, please. It smells divine.
He says, well, clearly I wouldn't think of depriving those who wish to cleanse their sins, Sucor, but someone so wicked as yourself, I say you should renounce this mayorship or this ownership that you have of this town. Become a nun before it's too late. Rid yourself of the evil spirits. Be gone, evil spirits, be gone! Dunk, dunk. But he'll take it.
They wouldn't have me, would they?
But yes, he doesn't go into your house, but he basically just goes up and down the streets doing the same thing just to anybody who will listen to him and buy sage off of him.
I'll just quietly say make sure nobody is too bothered by him. Don't rough him up or anything, of course. She'll just say to the guard, just politely tell him to back off if he's too aggressive with them. I'm sure everyone is maybe a little bit cranky after the last strain.
Yeah, he keeps babbling on about evil spiders and spirits like that, but eventually after a couple hours he makes his way around the village and leaves.
Alright. Tamara has a little bit of business. There is the undivided boo we had from yesterday, and so she's going to take 4 to each member of the party.
Okay.
When Tamara shows
you
up...
can all kind of keep my share for now because I can't edit my character sheet, so it's going to be hard for me to keep track of money.
Well, we can just leave a note in one of the chats so you'll remember.
Maybe.
But when Tamara shows up for wherever Julong currently is, I say, hey, did you see that guy? Those 2 guys, rather?
Oh, yes. Those 2.
You've seen them
I
before?
stopped by for a moment, and they just had the most adorable expression of terror.
You've seen them before, though?
She shakes her head. Not one bit, but I've seen their type before.
Did we see where they went when they left the village?
I think they might still be around. No, I think they continue along the road to the west.
Yeah, whichever. They'll make the round around the town, but then head out.
You understand, though, that could be a cover, right? They could have just been scouting the town out.
Very possible, but if they haven't actually, done anything wrong yet, I'd probably only be playing to their hands to do something overly aggressive.
I'm not saying do anything, I'm just throwing it out there that they could have just been scouting the town out.
All the more reason for everyone to be prepared. I believe today the militia is going to be doing some drills, but perhaps I should have someone scout around the village nonetheless. I wonder what Sheng and Lu are doing. Maybe I could convince them to do it.
Yes, Sheng Lu Po and Lu Wei. After the guy kind of leaves, or the 2 leave, you're kind of getting up and out to go out for the day. And as you exit your door, you see, like, I guess the little lean-to shed across from the main door there. You see a large black spider, probably about the size of your head, like milling about under the shed. And you haven't seen that before, and it's not intelligent, and it looks really gross.
Did our mayor have a baby and we didn't know about?
Just one?
Just the one?
No, would I have only had just one?
I don't know how that works, but
Joking about spiders and all their broods.
I mean, once you pop, you can't stop.
But I'm fairly
Oh,
certain
yeah.
everyone would
Jesus.
know of Tamara in the village and having absolutely zero relationships with anyone.
Right. This looks like something that you would find out in the middle of the woods. Like, just, it's gross and nasty.
Well, like I've said before, I'm a city kitty, so that thing kind of grosses me out. What about farmer boy here?
But it's not an unseen sort of thing. It's a thing that exists. It's just not seen in towns.
I, however, have a great desire to squish it.
Would it be in poor taste to squish it?
No, not at all.
I specifically meant with our mayor, who.
Wouldn't it be like squishing a baby?
That's what I was getting at.
I mean, you're basically like in a deliverance scenario. Oh god, look at this inbred redneck.